let me test it out. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, welcome to another episode of the Olympus Academy. So today we'll be talking about quite a few currency pairs. The CHF news, the CPI release, Aussie dollar. So let's take a look. Okay, so let me get started with CHF. So the CPI actually increased from 0.6% to 0.7%. So based on previous data, looking right here, the price actually dropped roughly an estimated 65 pips or so before it actually reversed back up. It actually shot back up. So the very next day actually went up a estimated 126 pips. It was actually looking for liquidity. So you notice price tapped into the liquidity immediately, rejected back down. So where is the liquidity located at this current setup right here? So we are looking at a relative equal highs right there. So that could be your potential take profit targets. So I'll just draw it out. So that could be your targets, take profit target for tomorrow. So you can potentially start looking for buys. Potentially start to look for buys. I actually noticed that price also took liquidity. So liquidity was taken. So you saw price actually shot up. So price is actually currently at the, let me check, 30 minutes. Okay, it's roughly at the 30 minutes demand area. It's actually at the 30 minutes demand area. So if price actually does something like this, it goes up, break a new high, retest, breaks, we could see price continue pushing up towards the target points. So this is an area I'm looking to break. This is on the 30 minutes chart. So I'll just put this area as the area to break. Area to break. So that's something I'm looking at. So looking for buys above this area. 716. So it has to close above strongly before I enter any buys. So if there are any more currency pairs that you guys want me to take a look at, feel free to let me know. So next, I'll be looking at the Aussie dollar. So we actually have the cash rate coming out tomorrow. The Australian cash rate, wow, actually price actually shot up very strongly since morning. So it actually shot up a nice 110 pips. So where can price possibly head to next? Okay, wait, give me a moment. Let me copy my text first. Okay, wait, let me write down the target area. Price targets that area. Target. Okay, next, let's go back. Okay, AUD USD. Let me check. Is there any setup that we can take? Okay, next, you actually notice that price is actually reaching out for the weekly fair value gap. You notice that price has previously taken out the liquidity on the weekly charts. So next we could see price actually continue bullish, heading up towards that weekly fair value gap. Okay, next looking at the daily. Okay, we can potentially look for price to likely, possibly go towards the true demand area. So this is a true demand area on the daily, which is noted by the body of the candle. I'll put this as the daily true demand. Okay, if you're looking for, potentially buy entries, I mean, it's very, very unlikely price to hit down very, 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 very below right there before heading back up. It's quite unlikely. So if we are looking for a better setup, we could see price possibly react along this area right here, this week. We could call it a breaker block. So I'll just delete this area out since this is a pretty low probability setup. So H4 breaker block. When we move down, we find it on the H1. So at this very moment, at this very stage, you can actually set an alert right here, looking for price to hit down, tap, break, and continue moving bullish. So looking for buys around 0.67, looking for buys at this 400 area. Targets at the weekly fair value gap is at 0.67836. So let's round it down to a whole number, 800. Alright, this is actually a setup I'm looking at for Aussie dollar. Okay, next, looking at the NZDUSD. Let me clear everything out. So price actually same thing, very, very bullish because the pairs are correlated, Aussie dollar and NZDUSD, the New Zealand dollar. So let's take a look where price is actually heading towards. Let's take a look at the weekly. So what I notice is there's a ton of liquidity lying right up there, relative equal highs right there. So this could be your targets, your potential targets. Ton and lots of liquidity right there. So we could potentially see price continue heading up. The first target we could see on the daily, it's this next target right here. Relative equal highs is denoted by these two relative equal highs right there. So next, let's take a look at the H4 charts. H4 chart, very, very bullish. Likely we could see price reject back down once price clears this high. Reject back down, potentially can look for retracement towards the upside again. So we actually have a H4 balance price range right here. So for those who trade ICT concepts, I'm sure you guys know what's a BPR. H4 BPR. H4 balance price range possibly could see price hit back down on the H1. Oh well, there's nothing much yet. Okay, this is a setup I'll be waiting for. Price to hit down, cause a retest, and continue towards the upside. So before I do that, let me copy this text over. Okay, where was I? I was at NZD USD. Alright, back. NZD USD looking for buys at the H4 balance price range. I'll put this towards the whole number, 500 targets, possibly, as I mentioned, the daily relative equal high. Target at that area right there, so I'll turn it into a whole number. Alright, next, let me take a look at euro dollar. Okay, price has been very, very bullish as of late. So we are actually looking on the weekly. Let me take a look at the weekly. Okay, there's a very, very nice target right there. Weekly. So this is a very, very strong relative equal high. So it could be a potential target right there. Price also bounced off the daily demand area. So I'll mark the area out, daily demand. Right. Apologize before I do that. Okay, back. Okay, back to this. Okay, daily demand has been tapped on the H4. Okay, there's nothing much on the H4. Potentially, we could see price. Okay, when the H4 candle closes in 5 minutes, in exactly 6 minutes, we could see price actually retrace back down, tap into this H4, fair value gap, H4, fair value gap. So this could be a potential setup I'm actually looking at. So H1, okay, if price doesn't go into the H4 fair value gap, I would not be taking any trades because I think this is risky, although this is a H1 fair value gap. I think that's a quite a risky setup to take. Yeah, you could potentially take this setup, tap, continue moving bullish. Well, I would prefer price to hit down lower before continue moving bullish. So I'll take this area as a risk buys, risky buys. So this area would be my prime setup. So I'll label it out. Euro dollar, Euro USD. Looking for buys at. I'll just label out my prime area. Change it to a whole number, nicer number. Targets at that previous high. The relative equal highs. Okay, 300. Make it cleaner. Alright. Okay. So let's take a look next. Okay, so far if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Any more currency pairs that you want me to take a look at? Okay, give me a moment. Let me check. Alright, next. Let me take a look at GEU. Okay, on the weekly, price is still very, very bullish. Same thing, correlated with euro dollar. So we notice that there is a very, very nice relative equal highs. This could be our target right there, the weekly, on the weekly. So we notice price has recently tapped into the daily demand area. Daily demand. Okay, next, let me take a look at the H4, H1. Okay, there's not much of a setup right there yet. Okay, maybe this previous fair value gap could act as a support area. Fair value gap, this on the previous H1 fair value gap. We could potentially see price tap in and continue moving bullish. Okay, let me just copy that text over first. Okay. In GBP USD, looking for buys at this fair value gap area. Or turning into a whole number, targets, that's relative equal highs. We turn into a whole number also, let's take a look. Alright, if there are no further questions, I would like to thank you guys for joining me today. So if you have any currency pairs that you guys want me to take a look at, let me know in advance in the future. So for now, just take all this in. I'll just post it in the comment section